Our very first panel discussion for today, it is titled The Next Era for Crypto, AI and Blockchain. And to tell us more into this topic, we have our moderator, Mr. Wilson Chye, Director and Secretariat, ABA. And our panelists, Jianing, founder of UWEB Limited. Alex Teo, COO, Headquarters. Suleman Kazim, CEO, Millionero, as well as Rahman, CEO, Onyx Arches. Let's give them a warm welcome, everybody. A round of applause. And I would like to hand the time over to our moderator, Wilson. Wilson, please.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our panel talk. I'm Wilson Chye, Director and Secretariat for ABA. We are able to present ourselves over here to get a better understanding of what crypto and AI and blockchain is about within the next few years, hopefully. And let's start introducing our guests. We have Amjad. Amjad is from Onyx, and Amjad will explain himself with regards to the business that he runs.
Thank you, Wilson. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amjad. I am the CEO of Onyx Arches. We are actually creating a payment gateway and our own token, which actually is supposed to revolutionize the travel industry, which is my background, and I've been in the industry for about a good 15 years, and my partner's 25 years. So we got extensive knowledge on that side. So we found a problem, and we actually solving that.
Right. Next to Amjad is Dr. Yu. Dr. Yu is a famous educator, and he's the CEO and the one in charge of UWEB Limited. Dr. Yu?
Okay, thank you, Merchant. And thanks again for the invitation for the Crypto Expo. And thank you all for coming so early. And I'm the founder of the UWEB, which is the University of Web3. And I focus on the crypto and Web3 education for almost 5 years. 5 years ago, I and my team established the most famous crypto school in China, the Hubei University. And from this year, I start another school. And nowadays, I focus on the crypto education, and I develop AI-powered online learning tool to help people to understand the latest knowledge about the Web3 using the AI. Thank you.
And next to me is Alex Teo, the COO that's basically running Crypto Asia.
Not Crypto Asia. So, hi everyone, good morning. Quick show of hands, anyone here are accountants or do accounting for a company of yours or are in the finance structure? I see some hands go up. Okay, great. So just a quick introduction. I'm the CEO of Headquarters or HQ.xyz, not affiliated to HQ MENA.
I do apologize.
And what we do is we help teams with bookkeeping, financial reconciliation for your on-chain transactions. So today, I think many of us in the space, myself included, I look after my company's treasury. We face some of these challenges with respect to making sense of all these on-chain transactions. How do we reconcile that? How do we put it into our accounting software? So that's a problem that we solve for in Headquarters. My own background, I joined this company. We started about a year ago. And before this, I was in the startup space for about 5 years prior. And I started my career in government actually in the mid-2000s. So I've seen big organizations, small organizations, and happy to have a chat about the future today.
Right, and last but not least is Mr. Suleman Kazim, CEO of Millionero.
Hello guys, I am the CEO of Millionero, Suleman Kazim, and we are a crypto exchange, a new exchange. We are in our second year, and the different thing in our exchange is that we created our exchange not for pro traders, not for experienced people, only for the new people or beginners. For example, some people are 50 plus and they have very hard time using very pro exchanges, and whenever they log on to that, they face some issues or complexity, confusing. So we completely created this platform only for new users and beginners, so they can have something which is very easy to use, and they will also, we need to onboard more and more people from outside of these crypto, and because before crypto was for techie people or young people, and now we need to onboard more and more people to grow together. And this is why we have introduced Millionero. And if you guys would check out our website, or if you guys have some questions, we are at the booth 17. You can talk to us, and we will explain you how different we are.
Okay, thank you. Since everybody's plugging, so I better speak a little bit about my company. We are a non-profit organization for the promotion of blockchain throughout the world and Asia. So it's Asia Blockchain Association. Okay, let's start with crypto. Since we are in Crypto Asia, maybe we can start with some questions, and then you want to pose to the panelists. Alex?
So I think one, I know we want to talk about the future and about applications and AI and all this cool stuff. Before we do that, if I may ask the panel as well, I think in the short term, in order to get to that future, we still need to rebuild perhaps trust in the ecosystem, right? And I think as an industry, as a community, there are probably things we need to do in the short term to help rebuild that trust. I think on our end, in headquarters, we believe that financial accountability is going to be a key pillar, I think, in helping regain some of that. But it's probably not enough, right? There are other things that we need to do in the ecosystem. Because I think as an industry, we want to see the next billion people come online using different types of tokenized assets, making payments perhaps with stable coins or some other tokenized form of payment, trading in-game assets. So I think there are many use cases we can imagine, right? But today, we know that in this current market, last year, everyone knows what happened last year in May, in June, in November, and we are in the state we are today, right? But we believe, obviously, that things can get better, right? What can we do as an industry to improve that state of accountability and regain trust? So I think that's the question I want to raise first.
Would anybody like to start? I personally think that crypto has a big future ahead. We all know that next year everything is halving by mid-year. So everybody is actually scurrying to make sure that they are compliant and they are proper with their mining or coins that they're offering or tokens. So this is the right time to get yourself, I would say, more or less more familiarized with what's out there in the market and get yourself in the right spheres. So that is my thought on it. Maybe someone can interject. Anyone?
Thanks. Okay, yes. Now, one of the things that he touched on, thank you very much, was about the bad players and the disastrous year that we had last year. One of the things that I would like to mention is, a lot of these bad players that's given crypto a really bad name is due to a lot of people not doing their due diligence, and they don't actually know how to trade or how to recognize, what is a rug pull and what is actually a genuine problem solver. We do need the governments and institutions to actually come on board and actually have training centers, explain what you should be doing, what you should be looking out for, where the pitfalls are. It's not trading, but it actually identifies the false players, etc. Because of this, if people knew and had to recognize the rug pulls and people that are actually giving us the bad name, we would not be in that situation. So there needs to be a lot more institutions involved, governments involved to actually resolve that.
Dr. Yu?
Obviously, it's really a hard time for all the crypto industry nowadays. In America, the SEC are suing the Binance and Coinbase. It's really crazy, and most of the important tokens are divided as the security. And I don't know what will happen in the future. But I think even it's a really hard time for all the industry. But maybe it's the reverse of the crypto. Just like first, it's really very good time for the Singapore. Just like in the past, most of important innovation are happening in America. And but nowadays, I think nobody wants to set up a crypto company in America. It's too dangerous. I think a lot of very good investors and good innovators will move to Asia, move to Singapore, to Hong Kong, to Dubai as well. So I think it's really big opportunities. Just like. Next year will be the BTC halving, and maybe there will be the next bull market from next year. It's quite possible, and from the basic system according to the history, in future at least the total capital. The total capitalization of the crypto will rise at least to the past high price. So there will be definitely a kind of really large of money will be created in the crypto field, and I think it's really high time that for the last bull market, last wave, the most of money were earned by American companies, but this time turned to Asia, I think. So it's really, even though it's really hard time nowadays, but I think it's really good opportunity for us. Thank you.
So, anything interesting or insider knowledge are you trying to tell us? Buy? Because of the halving. Are you telling us something that we don't know, or are you giving us some hints?
I think just like last month we discussed a lot about the BRC20. It's really popular thing, but I think maybe the BRC20 is not something just like it's just a meme, but it indicated after the Shanghai upgrade of the ETH, the Ethereum already totally transferred from the POW to POS, but nowadays just like the ETH are defined as the security. So all this staking and everything related to the ETH is a little bit in danger because of this. So that's the reason why people are embracing the POW ecosystem. Just like it's not. I don't mean that all the application will be back to the kind of the POW ecosystem, but I think there will be kind of the just like people will consider to develop some new application on the kind of the public chain of the POW public chain. So I think that will be really big opportunities. Just like people, I have a lot of students in Hubei University, and some of them are running the mining companies, and because of the BRC20, they earn a lot in the last month. But I think just a start. From this wave, from the next bull market, the after halving, even though the earning from just the block rewards will be reduced, but because of the popularity of the Bitcoin or POW ecosystem, people can earn more money from the transaction fee because of the new applications. So I think they'll be beside the halving, the kind of the new applications and ecosystem we should pay attention to.
My thoughts on crypto. is whatever new coins or tokens are coming out, eventually it has to be attached to something more substantial. It has to be a real thing. The white paper and the ICO itself eventually has to have something of value, something that's physical attached to it. I see that as a trend. I see that as, what things are going to come about. And miners are going to be... That's the other question. Is mining going to restart very soon? Because mining has stopped in a lot of places already. So what are your thoughts? Maybe back to you guys. Anyone?
I think the mining wouldn't stop because for example, for Ethereum, of course the mining has stopped and all of the GPU prices are also going down. But if you take the Bitcoin, it is still worthy. For example, if the Bitcoin, like everyone says, maybe it goes really, really high price, it would be, profitable.
You talk about GPUs, so is AMD going to take it over?
No, I don't think so. NVIDIA. I'm an NVIDIA guy. So if you see like Bitcoin would go up really, really well, and I hope it will in maybe after next halving. So of course it would be more profitable. It is not as profitable for miners for now, but it would be. And I see more and more mining farms coming. And I think even if you look at the organizations or bigger like government levels, they are also getting interested in such things. And if you compare, it is going more and more. And there have been so many more mining farms in almost every city, every country, especially in Dubai, since I'm coming from there. And a lot of people are interested in this. And its trend it's not hyped yet, but it's still not, it's not going down.
Can I just add to that? I actually agree with you.
Yeah.
So even now that the Bitcoin price is actually really low and mining is not actually profitable at this stage, but why are people still investing in mining equipment, setting up warehouses for mining? Is because the institutions and the big players, they are actually expecting Bitcoin to go to absolutely crazy prices. So they do want to be ready for this, and they are actually retesting it and stuff like this. So you're absolutely right. It may not be profitable now, and it doesn't make sense to actually start mining now. But we are, and everyone is expecting Bitcoin to rise to a level where it just becomes, very, very worth it.
So what's the future for crypto? This decentralized, originating idea and ideology is starting to be governed and re-centralized to a large extent. So are we creating another fiat instead of what it is meant to be?
I think decentralization and decentralized exchanges, all this stuff, would go it would come into hype, but not now. Right now it is the time about centralization, centralized exchanges and others, because centralized exchange is in the middle, it is letting people onboard into decentralized world, right? And of course later on there wouldn't be much centralized exchanges and centralization. There would be everything would be decentralized. If you see at other stuff, for example, not inside crypto or other, if you look at supply chain management or human resource and so many more stuff, blockchain is very useful in those industries as well, to keeping the records safe, to keeping everything in line without human intervention, which is absolutely perfect for there can be no records changing and stuff. I believe that it would go up, but not right now. Maybe after 5 years or 10 years, it would take go to another level than where it is right now.
If I could add to that, I think decentralization as an end in itself is probably not where we're going. I think it's a means to an end. And that could be better security or not having to rely on central bodies for certain decision making. Now that said, I think we know, based on last year, central exchanges probably have not had the best reputation coming into 2023, but they still play an important function in onboarding new users, off-ramping as well. So there is a function to be played there. I think, I can't crystal ball gaze into the future, but my sense is that there will be a place for both decentralized and centralized options, because as human beings, we've got, we want to do other things in our life, right? We don't want to think about my seed phrase, is it safe, is it secure? So that idea of self-custody, while very powerful, may only apply maybe to a certain percentage of global users. I think for everyone else, maybe they still want to rely on another authority to help with that. And so I think there will be some balancing act that will happen with respect to centralized versus self-custody solutions.
I think we've talked quite a bit about crypto, but I think I also want to speak a little bit about legislation, especially the new legislation in Hong Kong. It's a major turnabout for China and Hong Kong to go that direction. Maybe Dr. Yu could start a little bit about that.
I can talk a bit. Just like I travel between Hong Kong and Singapore very frequently, almost every week I travel to Hong Kong. It's really very, very good opportunities. Just like I always hear that the Hong Kong and Singapore are competitive with each other, and who will be the winner. But I don't think Hong Kong or Singapore could be single winner. They will definitely be the win-win, the both win. Just like in Hong Kong, obviously. The reason why we think there's opportunities, just like there are so many money in Hong Kong and in China. As you know, to move your money to Singapore is not very easy, but it's not very, very hard to move your money from mainland China to Hong Kong. And in the past, if you want to invest some crypto or sell some crypto. In Hong Kong, the bank could quite possible to close your bank account, so it's really dangerous. But nowadays, the policy, the government's attitude is really positive, and the bank are start to cooperate with some crypto exchange. So definitely, I think within this year or next year, the most of the transaction between the fiat and the crypto will happen in Hong Kong. It's quite possible, and I think I know a lot of people are established their crypto asset management company in Hong Kong, and they try to just attract more money from mainland China to convert their money to the crypto. And one important thing is that in Hong Kong there's a really good stock market, the Hong Kong Exchange, and I know that a lot of listed companies in Hong Kong are trying to be involved in the Web3 business. And just like maybe next year, we can see some company stocks rise a lot just because they holding or they offering some tokens. It's quite possible because nowadays there are some listed company they issue their token and just like treat their token as their assets. So in the future, the Hong Kong will be kind of very important hub to merge the crypto and traditional finance. So it's really big opportunity. It just start at the very, very beginning stage. But I think in Singapore, just because of the regulation is treated very well, and Singapore MAS consider the crypto as a kind of payment system, payment tools. So it's a little bit different from the Hong Kong side. The Hong Kong the HKMA, they consider the crypto more like the kind of the asset instead of a way of the payment. So I think we could be a combination, just like I know some company in Hong Kong, they open their bank account in Singapore, just like in the DBS or in Formal Pay, to use the crypto better. And some Singapore company are setting their branch or setting their crypto asset companies or kind of the something like that in Hong Kong to track more money from China to invest in Singapore or in some new projects.
Yeah. So you're saying that a lot of our SFOs are in that format. Actually, there's a lot to talk about crypto alone. I think with our panels up here on crypto alone, we probably can speak for another few more hours, but let's just like breaks, you talk about yuan and the fiat in comparison to crypto. So let's start with the next topic, which is AI and blockchain. Combinations of both, as well as the AI, which is a buzzword right now. So anyone would like to start on AI?
Okay, so my first question is related to AI. Like, what do you guys think about, regulating AI? Because, for example, crypto was new, and now there are a lot of regulations are coming in, and maybe we are underestimating AI as well. And I think, like, if we don't want to end up being in kind of movie of Terminator, we must.
You're talking about next week's talk, is it?
Yeah, something like that.
Singularity. But I think AI has a lot to offer, and all of us need AI to improve us to the next level for our corporations, our improvements, our thinking process, our humanity as well. It's how we govern it. And I personally think that there should be a world organization based on ethics and governance with regards to AI. But that's personal. That's my personal opinion. Anybody else?
I would like to say something. Everyone's very excited about AI. Now, the thing is, we need to understand AI. So if we put it simple, like low, medium, and large, or weak, normal, and strong. If we just put it on 3 levels, so you got your weak ones, which is a lot of apps already have AI included in it, like Siri, Alex, and to chess games, etc., where you can actually play chess with you, which is quite common and everywhere. And then if you go to medium, you can say ChatGPT. The language exchanges, this kind of this is what we actually working on developing, and it is quite scary. There is, I think, when we think about AI and we think about Terminator and iRobot, those kind of movies, is the 3rd level. That's what we were talking about. But does that actually exist? It does exist. And I don't think it's actually on the mainstream at this stage like this. But companies like NASA are actually working on it. Unfortunately, the military is actually working on it. But this is the level where actually computers can actually surpass the thinking process of mankind. So that is there, but I think we've got a long way before we get to that stage. Now I think we've made a lot of progress. We are in the middle section where we are actually strong, and we're making some really good products, ChatGPT. Regards to regulating this, I have no idea how you would regulate this, honestly.
For example, like I have been checking a couple of newses also, like in some cases, AI is, of course, it's perfect. It's like next level thing, and but for example, it learns on itself, right? And there it can be used for good things, but it can also be used for bad things. And we need to, for example, there can be some regulations on it, not now, but on future, to keep it in line with, in terms of using it properly. Everything can be used in bad ways, and everything needs to be kept in line. This is, for example, I cannot take the name of a couple of companies or incidents properly, but there have been a couple of incidents which have been trendy as well, and maybe you guys might know about that. So this was the reason I was thinking, of course we can integrate it with blockchain, and it would help, for example, in terms of money laundering. It can raise red alerts on itself without even human intervention, and it can be perfect. But maybe at some stage we might be needing to regulate it. Nobody thought about crypto as well, but there was some time where we had to use it now.
I like predictive AI.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, predictive AI with regards to shares and crypto.
I think people are working on it already.
I know. I'm trying. I think blockchain has a lot to offer, and blockchain is becoming the norm. If you do not know the way a product comes from, would you buy it? So ultimately, that's what I think blockchain has to offer. It basically tells you that this comes from somewhere, it is sold by someone, it's basically produced by someone, and you know exactly how it forms. So I think blockchain, AI, and even crypto can all be combined in different manners. And it sounds like I'm summing up because we ran a little bit long. Would you guys want us to talk a little bit more on AI and the blockchain, or should I pose questions onto the floor rather than summing up? Anybody wants to ask something? If you can speak loudly.
I was just quickly wondering, what is the legal difference? Why does there have to be anything different with AI versus, say, a car, which I can sell to someone, which might also have unintended consequences? So why does there have to be a difference?
The difference is Tesla stocks. So when we get too wary about AI, we tend to feel that there is it encroaches on us as human beings. My thought is, when we face something new, that's where fear comes about. And to understand it takes years. We don't even understand ourselves, and that's how many generations. So along the way, we learn. We learn what it is all about. We learn what we can control, what we don't want to control, and how we use it in our lives. That's what I think.
I totally agree with you. We do have this fear when we don't know what we're stepping into, and when we don't have control. These are the two main factors that we fear, when we lose control, and also when we don't know what's going to happen, what the result is going to be. We figured the example about the car. Well, one thing is, a car cannot make its decision to have a crash. Or it can't make a decision to actually go somewhere. Someone has to control it and start it up like this. But when we go into the realm of self-thinking, this changes the whole game. And because we this is not us thinking, this is not our control, but both of these aspects are gone, and this causes a problem. At the moment, like I said to Brother Suleman, how do we actually regulate this? Because when it's a self-thinking program, where do you put the regulation? Where do you control it? How do you control it? To a certain degree you can, but as the technology advances and nobody wants to go backwards, nobody wants to go backwards, they always want to advance, and it will always be a competition. And this is where it becomes problematic. And the pace that we're actually moving on, yes, it is rightfully so that we should be a bit worried. We should be a bit more careful. Maybe we should just slow down. That's all I would say.
Anybody else? Yes, please. Fantastic.
Sorry, not a question, just a response to the last question as well. Cars are regulated. There's safety standards for cars. Seatbelts are regulation. Road laws are regulation. That's all regulation. Okay, thank you.
Oh, great. We live in not a lawless society. So we are fully regulated. We are all regulated to a large extent. It's how much regulation is upon us. That's being kind to your fellow human beings. We're not regulated on that yet.
Yeah. So when you say that, yes. So we can put laws and control over these kind of aspects because once that law is done, that is it. But when we're talking about a thinking process, it becomes different. So Microsoft designed that technology to recognize language. But then it started recognizing different language which was not programmed to do so. The language it learned was Bengali. It wasn't supposed to do that. And they could not work out why it did it and how it did it. So it's processing and thinking by itself. Now you can tell it, don't learn other languages, but what if it's thinking about itself? You know what, maybe I do need to learn it to do this. Right? So this is where it becomes a bit difficult. How do we control it? How do you actually put a thinking boundary and say, you know what, you cannot think further when we're trying to create something that thinks for itself. So it gets a bit quite a bit complicated then.
Agree. We have actually gone past our timing. Maybe one more question? There are two, so both, please. Thank you.
So I'm just going to bring it back to crypto.
No, as well. Both. Please.
Okay. So with regards to crypto's nature, we all know that it's decentralized. And I think that poses a lot of issues to governments and states, as it has many political and economic drawbacks. So with all these attempts at government agencies trying to regulate crypto, how do you think crypto would fare in the future amidst these regulations?
Anyone want to start on that? That's an hour-long conversation that we basically are trying to understand. There is always what we call a global interest in something and national interest in certain things. And when we talk about crypto, we are always very wary of the decentralization of it, the openness of it, but that's the base of what crypto is all about. Regulation on national levels, or eventually a global level, would certainly be about transparency, securitization, and to make cryptocurrency an effective currency, a global currency. Anybody wants to add?
I'll just give a quick response to that. I think the genie is out of the bottle with respect to crypto blockchain. I think it's going to be a balancing act, I think, that regulators will need to strike. Because if you clamp down too hard in one jurisdiction, it will probably either go underground or move somewhere else. And I think it's probably going to be a bit of both, right? A need for some guardrails in place to protect users, to have a certain minimum level of trust, but at the same time not completely, like I said, the genie's out of the bottle, you probably can't put it back in. So that's my take on that.
Last question.
And there's quite a limit on what regulation can do. And if we think about governance instead, real-time governance, decentralized governance, it could actually be a solution to what we're facing right now, what regulation can't do. Being a decentralized world, a community, it's something that we put down the rails. It's something we could invest and create our own solutions. What do you think?
The market is very young, and we are actually going the correct route. So I just came back from Dubai, and they got VARA, which is actually a regulatory body at the moment. they're not actually clamping down on exchanges and crypto startups. They're actually welcoming them as well. But the guidelines they have to set up, what they actually more focused on is you do not set up a company that is going to be someone that can abuse or do fraudulent activities, etc. So they're covering that. And from there they will start. So we do need to start somewhere. So regulatory bodies are very, very important to build the trust and also safeguard the public as well. So if we start with like this, instead of try to completely control it, it's a good start. So small steps at a time, and then we can just expand from that point.
I think it's the fact that we have borders. By the time we have no borders and we are a full global community, this won't happen. So I hate to end this so early, but we've already gone past the time. All of us have further commitments probably in about a few minutes. Why don't we have a last word from each of our panelists, and we can call it a day. Dr. Yu? 最后一句.
For the last word, I would like to say the reason why we think the all the cryptocurrency or crypto asset could be more valuable than the traditional assets, just because all the crypto are programmable. So in the future, not only us human, but the AI could use the network, the blockchain, the crypto in the future. So I think definitely in the future, all the assets could be transformed to the crypto. So that'll be really, really important chance for us, for all of us. Okay, and we should pay much attention to AI, just like the GPT model, all the LLM model could be the new infrastructure for the Web3. The Web3 is not only something to do with the crypto, the blockchain, but also it is the another fundamental is the AI, the AIGC, the generative AI. So we should pay much attention to AI, and if you want to all in Web3, you should all in the crypto and also all in the generative AI. Okay, thank you.
Amjad?
I would like to actually just touch on a point that Wilson just mentioned earlier on, and that is the use case of crypto. So, when you go actually and start investing in coins, try to look, what is their purpose? They need to actually have a purpose. So they either need to have, they're solving a problem that is out there. Okay? And a lot of blockchains are doing this, which is great, and we're moving that way. Or it needs to provide some sort of service to the public or to the environment. It's so many. So these have a purpose to be there. And these are the cases that we should be looking at. And but if we all focus just on the meme coins and that have no purpose, no agenda, no nothing, not even entertainment, we are playing with fire here. Okay, so look at these key things. All right, so a purpose, a problem solver around the globally.
Alex?
Personally, I think what I want to end with is I'm very excited by the possibilities that blockchain may enable for the future, the use cases which maybe we haven't even fully thought of yet. Today we see the possibilities with payments, receiving that. I think you see in the news that there are developments around using NFTs as not just tickets, but as sort of fan gateways, a new way of marketing to users. Formula One just used it last week, I think in Monaco, or 2 weeks ago. We're seeing some of these interesting use cases emerge. And I think, at headquarters, we're trying to build that base level infrastructure to regain trust. But I see that we will in the future where we're transacting with certain new assets, tokenized assets, in-game transactions are easier for gamers. Those possibilities, very exciting. I think people who aren't paying attention to the space may be surprised in about a year or 2 years from now by what comes out. So I'm just excited for what might happen.
Suleman?
Well, I think that crypto, AI and blockchain, if combined together, it have a huge potential in future, and it is going to be very on another level. And I think that if it's not only useful for users, it can be useful for governments or for any other organizations. Everybody can use it, and it will be very useful for everyone.
For me, I think we're living in a time of change. This kind of times for change seldom happen in one lifetime, or possibly in your lifetime. So very exciting, very interesting. There are dangers to look out for, but there are also opportunities for everyone to look out for. So possibly that's why everybody's here, to look out for the change and to basically find out whether it's going to be the good one for you. So thank you very much, guys, and hope you enjoy the rest of the expo.
Thank you.
Thank you.